welcome to Backpacker-ish. My name's Nathan, and this is Lillian Lake. If you tuned into this video because you wanted to see Lillian Lake and the trail and the way up there, just watch the first section. If you tuned into this video because you read the title, just skip to the section with the time mark that says panic. Just heading in from the Galatea Lakes trailhead on our way into Lillian Lake for the night. First thing when you come in, there's a nice little hill on the way down, which is surprising because the rest of this trail, as far as I'm aware, is all uphill. Oh, it's pretty steep. And the trail is actually fairly icy. There's a skiff of snow on top, which is nice, but it's pretty hard packed, so I think I'm gonna take a break here. And only about 20 minutes in, I'm gonna take a break and throw on my micro spikes just to give myself some traction and not have to worry about my footing as much. Whew. It's pretty though. I'm just coming up almost to the in-between point between Fortress Ridge and Mount Kidd, and from what I hear, it really opens up after this and you get some beautiful views. Up till now it's been pretty much in the trees along Galatea Creek, which is beautiful, like, because you get views like that behind me. But you can see also up there, that's Mount Kidd. And if I circle back and look the other way, you can see Fortress Ridge, which runs all the way back to Fortress Mountain and the ski resort on the other side of the Fortress Mountain. So this is a pretty cool spot in between here. After that little opening, you actually duck back into the trees. You jump off the creek, and it's still running way down there to my left, but you start to gain a ton of elevation in the trees on the way up. You get little peaks of the valley that you're going to end up in, with like Mount Engadine off to one end and coming out of there, but it's a steep climb up here. Whew. It's nice. This last kilometer or two in the trees is really steep. I'm starting to feel the burn in my calves, my hamstrings. I'm starting to feel a little tired and a little peaked. So hopefully it levels out a little bit, but it doesn't look like it. It's steep and it just keeps going up. Up and around. So hopefully the campsite's all clean and prepped and there's not much work that I need to do. It's a designated backcountry site, so it should be all maintained, I hope, because I'm gonna be tired when I get there. Whew. Whew. one foot in front of the other. I'm glad to say that it does flatten out for the last few hundred meters before you get to the lake. I'm looking forward to checking that out because it looks like it's pretty flat from here on out. Well, here we are hiking along the side of Lillian Lake. The path, after it levels out, kind of opens up on the left side. And you can see the lake. It's all covered in snow and froze over now, I'm sure. I'm not going to test it out, but that's beautiful. So now let's go check out and see where the campground's at. I think it's on the far end of the lake. So once I get set up, I'll give you a little tour of the campground and send you on your way. All right, that's pretty cool. The tent pads are actually set up kind of above the ground, off the ground, so that they look over the lake. And they're kind of all along the shore, which is very cool. I'm gonna see if I can find one of them that has some trees around it because I can kick off the snow and set up. If not, that's okay. Look at that. Next time I'll bring a tent. All right, now that camp's all set up, let's go show you where everything is. When you walk in, the lake will be on your left, and you'll come to a nice little clearing area where you can see the lake and the sign for Lillian Lake's campground. As you keep walking in, there's a big open space with some stumps in that are cut in, and the trail branches off to the right. Looks like there's been some snowshoers back here. It gives you the directions through Gins Pass over to Ribbon Lake if you head up that path there. Or if you head this way and you keep moving along the shore of the lake, you'll get to the Lillian Lake campground. And that's where we're hanging out. So as you walk through here, there's kind of some clearing off to the right. And again, a couple of paths and rabbit trails down to the lake on the left. And then you get to a spot where the trail branches off a little bit, just right here. And if you head up to the right, you can get to the outhouse through some trails back there. There's another way over here though. If you dip down towards the lake instead of taking that little rabbit trail up, it brings you to a path that runs right along the shore where it's just beautiful here. So here's the path that runs to the shore, and then it snakes up to the tent pads along the tree line. But this is where I'm gonna be having breakfast for sure. It's just beautiful. The sky's beautiful. The sunset is just gonna be incredible tonight. There's barely any clouds, so we get some reflection off the sun, off the clouds, but not a ton. And then as you keep walking, you get some views of, I think that's Mount Kidd over there. Fortress is over that ridge over there. And on the other side is Mount Engadine and Gins Pass and all those things. Up closer to Galatea and the other lakes that feed into here. But we come up to the camping area, and there's, I think according to the website, I think there's 17 different places you could have tent pads, and they're all set up like this, all along the shore in the tree line. I've got my hammock set up in one of them, but there's, I don't know, a whole bunch of them. It's just beautiful. And then there's another trail right here that heads back into the outhouse as well. Nice vault toilet back there. And as you keep walking, you come to a nice sign, and these are extremely helpful. They're campground etiquette signs. So pause that and give it a look. Store your food in the bear bins. Keep your dogs on a leash. Leave no trace. Keep noise down. Stay on the trails. Don't burn the forest down. Use the outhouse. We don't want any toilet paper floating around or any poop melting in the snow. And use the designated fire pits. I haven't found that yet. And I also haven't found the bear bins yet. So I'm gonna keep walking down this trail. It makes sense that they'd be, oh, there they are right there. From that sign, if you hang a right, you end up at the bear bins, and I think there's an eating area. Oh yeah, I can see it just off to the left there. So here is the bear bins. So make sure if you're coming out here, you use those. And then if you keep going, there's an open eating area with a beautiful view of this rock wall. Now, some animals beat me here, and there's no one else been here for a couple of days, but this nice little eating area. There's an axe and a fire pit. I probably won't use the fire pit, but it kind of sits in this beautiful basin where you've got just this beautiful view of that rock wall and Mount Kidd on the other side over there. Wow. Yeah, so there's the campground. The snow's pretty deep, so I'm standing in it. I'll probably not shovel that off because now I'm knee deep in snow. But it's gonna be a beautiful night, not a cloud in the sky. I am back in the car, and it is 7:30 p.m. I made two pretty critical mistakes that caused me to decide not to stick it out for the night, and kind of hit the mental panic button in my brain. The first one was that I did not insulate my water. I know better. I do. I just didn't do it. So, when I got to camp and got all set up and got a whole bunch of video shot and all that stuff, I made dinner and I realized that my water was starting to freeze. Solid. And it was several degrees colder than the forecast called for, which normally wouldn't be an issue, except I had already decided not to have a fire. I probably won't use the fire pit, but and the fact that I didn't have a fire meant I wouldn't keep my water from freezing until I went to bed. So I decided to, after I ate, to hop into bed with my water, which was very frozen, not solid, but pretty frozen, to try and warm up my water and try and make sure that I could stay warm. Well, I'm having a little anxiety about tonight. So, it is just about 5:30, just after 5:30 p.m., and it is already 20 degrees on the thermometer. So, it's going to get pretty cold tonight. And this became a problem because I committed a drastic mistake. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't have been safe. I probably would have been fine. But I didn't know for sure that I was going to be fine. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I have taken untested gear into the mountains in the winter. About 3 years ago, I was hoping to do a section of the Great Divide Trail, and I wasn't able to do it. But what I did do was bought all the gear. So one of the things that I bought was a 0 degree underquilt and top quilt set from Outdoor Vitals for my hammock. And I haven't had a chance to use it in the winter. It's a 0 degree, so it should get me down to about minus 18, I think. And I've used the top quilt a couple of times in the winter on a sleeping pad in a tent, but I've never used the underquilt and top quilt combination for my hammock in the winter. So here's hoping that I don't have to hike out in the middle of the night just to keep warm. Here goes. So as the temperature started to drop, it was about minus 8 Celsius at about 5:30 p.m. And as the temperature dropped below what the forecast said it would, I started to worry because I'm in my hammock. My torso is warm, I'm comfortable, but my legs are starting to get cold, and I've got this ice water in there with me. Anyways, I realized that my feet are starting to get cold, and my toes are starting to go a little bit numb. And I think, okay, once the water warms up and it's melted, it's not ice anymore, I know for sure that my feet will be fine. Well, I think my feet will be fine. I'm pretty sure my feet will be fine. So I let the water warm up a little bit, and it's no longer cold. It's still cool because it's water and we're in the mountains. But it's not cold anymore. It's not making me cold anymore. But my toes have started to go numb. They're like an achy numb at this point. So I have to think of how much I trust the gear that I had brought that I had not tested. And for myself, I did not know for sure that the gear that I brought would have kept me warm, or warmed me back up, I should say, throughout the whole night so that I would have been safe. Now, at this point, I had already touched base with a couple people in my life that I needed to touch base with so that they knew I was safe at the campsite. But they didn't know any of this, right? So I made the decision to pack up the things that I had brought, load my backpack back up, and hike back down. Now, thankfully, the moon was brilliant and I could see really well. And thankfully, my headlamp, the NU25, performed really well because I didn't have any concerns about making it down safely. I knew that I could hike down and keep warm while I was hiking till I got to the car. So here I am at the car after having a moonlit hike for 6 kilometers down the mountain, back from where I should have been laid down comfy cozy. That 6 kilometer hike took me an hour and 20 minutes in the moonlight. So you could tell how quick I was moving and how important it was for me to get back somewhere that I could let people know I was safe and I was back in the car, and I wouldn't have that kind of question mark for them if anything did happen. So that's where I'm at. I'm frustrated. I'm disappointed. I wanted to spend the night in the mountains. So instead, I'm going to head back home. I'm going to grab something to eat on the way. I'm going to hop in the bathtub, warm up, have a nice hot bath, maybe have a rum, and go to bed. I'll be at home in my own bed by 10:30, 11 o'clock. I'll be asleep in my own bed. God, that pisses me off. Well, there it is. Winter camping fail number 3 for 2023.